deck, this lake with a deck, and it has two deck chairs. So that's what I'm going to be doing this time. I'm going to get you a little closer to what I'm doing here. Hope you're having a good start for your Monday. So I'm going to come in, and I have made a template here, and I'm going to go ahead and put in a little bit of paint just to find where all my spacing should be. I had made this design several years ago for a fall picture, and the trees in the background, you know, were colorful. Leaves or trees colors, the leaves had been turning for fall. So I thought this would be fun to have a more early, late spring, early summer kind of painting. So that's what we're doing this time. Ooh, the dogs do not like the weekly testing of the sirens or the alert system. So I don't know, maybe other communities where you're living, your community does it at this time too. So we have a bunch of dogs trying to keep up with the sound, or they just plain don't like it. So I'm just using white so it'll be easier to find, and there's a couple ways I could do this. I could have done this all in black and just have the silhouette of the chairs. That's a simple way to do it. It looks crisp and clean. Or you can try to get more detail in your chairs. So I don't know if these chairs would actually be very comfortable the way the way I designed them, but this is looking at them from the back. The first design of this I did, let me show you, this was from a couple years back. I had the colorful trees and the reflective lake, and then even some pretty colorful leaves on the bottom there. So, and then I was able to play with the shadows on the chairs. So I went ahead and picked up some dark brown. I'm just going to go over the white here. I want these to look a little bit worn. So you're probably wondering why I didn't just go ahead and start with the dark brown. Well, I have a lot of dark brown here, and I didn't want it all to just get blended together. Acrylic painting is about different layers of paint. So the different layers helps to add the depth, the warmth and the depth, and helps to draw our attention to certain areas. So our light source would be coming from, let's say, here. And so the lake is very calm today. It's not not putting out the white, what do they call that, capes? No, caps, white caps. There's no white caps on our lake today. It's nice and calm. And we have some new pretty young leaves on our trees. So I went ahead and added some burnt sienna. I'm going to warm up our wooden deck chairs here. Today I'm using a round brush. You could use an angle brush to do this. Or if you only have a flat brush, let's see, like this kind, you could do your drawing on the edge. That would work too. You could even do some of this with a palette knife. It depends on how you want your design to be. There we go. Sorry I got quiet on you there. Okay, so let's say we've got a little buildup of different colors going on there. Let's say that the shadow is under here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up some black and this dark brown. So right in here is a shadow at the base of the back of that chair. And we're going to say this, the front legs, the back of the front legs are going to have that shadow. If you like looking at chairs, Google mid-20th century chair designs. They had an explosion of ideas, some really unique things. Of course, by then they had different materials to work with. With the different metals and man-made products, as well as wood products. So I'm going to say this can have a little warmth there. There's going to be some shadow on it. So what I did, I had some little index cards and I went ahead and drew out the shape that I wanted the chairs, and then I cut it out to make a template, and then I could play around where I wanted to place it. So that's an idea, a helpful tip. When if you want to make your own design, which I recommend you trying because it's a lot of fun. And at the risk of just repeating myself, start with a small, if you want to do a canvas, or if you want to just regular copy paper, just sketch out little designs, and then you could get like contact paper. Is that what it's called? Not contact. Copy paper or cardstock. So this is a journal that I'm starting to put in some designs. This is one I'm working on. So you could get something like this. And this is only about 5.5 by 8.5. So it's a pretty good size. Test out your design before you move on to something bigger. I might be switching to a different brush. I think it's time to switch to a different brush here. And get out the old angle brush. So I'm going to put an edge, the top edge here of our chairs. Starting to put a little more detail in. Some of you might think, well, there should be a fishing pole out there. You could do that too. I'm going to give this a little bit of reddish look. I don't want to totally cover up what I have there. So this part here comes back around. So part of it's like the arms of the chair, and then the wood is taken around as part of an anchor. Now I'm going to get a little brush here because I need to have the sun hitting the top right here. I don't want that to get lost. Okay. So we could add a little bit of water is level, so we could put a little bit of reflective, slight movement, slight waves in the water here. I'm just using my finger to kind of extend it out. Water is always level, so it's helpful to remember that. You wouldn't put streaks this way. Put the top of our posts here, and there's like a rope fencing. Little reflective there. So let's see here. My canvas, I feel like the little grooves, the little squares of my canvas are still kind of showing through. Let's see. So let's say you practiced your design on something like this, and then you made something bigger. You could always paint over your smaller canvas again if you wanted to try out another design if you didn't need your practice reference anymore. That's a little tip to if you wanted to save a little bit of money. I actually did that with this one. I had it was a bird design that I had practiced on, and I didn't need it anymore, so I repurposed this canvas for this practice design. All right, we're moving along here. So I'm going to get the smaller detail brush. I'm going to put some, whoops, that's too much. I think I'm going to use a smaller, different brush, more of a lining brush. I'm going to outline where these the slats come together. It's okay if a little bit of light, the blue, comes through there. That looks kind of neat. So I don't want to totally take all that out. Now you could extend a little shadow right here. If our light's coming from this direction, we would have that little bit of shadow. So if you want to make your own lake watercolor design, or water lake reflectiveness, I'm going to post a speed painting video of how I did this part this afternoon. But I want you to notice that the trees, as they're reflected in our very calm lake here, they are like this tree's slanted a little bit. When it comes to this side, you need to mirror it. I think that's called a jackknife effect, because this wouldn't extend that way, right? Unless the sun was like right behind it, a sunset picture, that could happen. But if it's more of just like a mirror, reflective mirror, we need to like a jackknife effect. Just a little tip, something to think about. Now you could get as detailed as you like. Or you could do these chairs in a total black silhouette kind of design. Now I'm going to add a little more grooves, texture to the back. Let them look a little bit more worn. Add a touch of light to here. Could add a little more light to the edge. And my brush is dirty, I haven't rinsed it out. So if a little bit of that black gets in there with the white, that's okay. Just kind of graze it a little bit. Now I'm going to lay it in there to say that's the top edge, and then there's a little bit of shadow right there. Our rope, you can do that too as well. There are some artists that don't like to use any black at all. They do these changes by mixing either blue with a touch of purple to get a really dark, maybe a touch of red, maybe they just keep testing out different combinations to make the darker shadows to gray out a bright color. So that is called color theory, and it can be a lot of fun to learn and practice. Okay, let's see. Anything I need to add back here? Let's see, I need to put a little bit of light right here probably. I want it to look a little bit smeared, or yeah, because it is on water. So it's okay to get your fingers messy if you do this. These look like old aspen or birch trees. Some have Lost all the leaves. Alright, so let's see what else we can do. You could add more detail to the deck. Like in this one, I put the planks this way, which was fun, and then played with the planks here and a little more detailed here, so you could get as detailed as you like, or if you like to keep things simple, you could do this way. What would I do? I could even put a darker line right here on the edge. And I could do more for like some grooves here, but I think for now I'm going to keep it like it is. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow.